A very warm and a hearty welcome to all of you friends. On behalf of the entire team at Gradeup, I take the privilege of welcoming each and every one of you for today's live session. So a very warm and a hearty welcome to all of you. From the YouTube, we have Sita Lakshmi, Nityang, Pranav, you have Shiva, you have Richa, you have Janvi. A very good evening to all of you. And in our app, we have Div, Mahika, Shreya, Krishnendu, Pragati, Bibi Sara, and Anindita. A very good evening to all of you friends. So friends, today we are back with another very important series, a class of this particular series on important legal updates. Now, in this particular series, which is meant for both CLAT 2021 as well as for CLAT 2022 aspirants, we bring to you the most important news of the day from across the country. So without much ado, so let's begin with today's session. But first up, some important notification from Gradeup. Gradeup brings to you a flat 45% discount on your Gradeup Super subscription. Use the code MANTRA45 and get your 45% discount today. To avail 45% discount on your Gradeup Super, use the code MANTRA45. That's it. Gradeup brings to you an All India Mega Mock Challenge for ALIT 2021. The examination will be held between 16th and 18th of April 2021. All that you need to do is that you need to get yourself registered for the ALIT All India Mega Mock Challenge conducted by Gradeup. You have to just click on the link that is given in the description box below. It's a free thing. You don't have to pay a single rupee for it, but this will help you to evaluate yourself where you stand in front of this particular entrance examination. Gradeup also brings to you a comprehensive course for CLAT 2022 aspirants. Those of you who are in class 11 and you have a roadmap to your dream NLU, to pave way for this particular roadmap, all you need to do is to subscribe to Gradeup Super and join this comprehensive course for CLAT 2022 aspirants. Those of you who are preparing for Banaras Hindu University, Jamia Millia Islamia, as well as Aligarh Muslim University, Gradeup brings to you a special course for the same. Those of you who are planning for CLAT 2021, we are coming up with a second booster crash course. Okay, this will be batch 2 of a booster crash course for CLAT 2021. All that you need to do is to subscribe to Gradeup's CLAT and other law entrance examination Gradeup Super. Once you subscribe to Gradeup Super, you get unlimited access to the classes as well as the mock test. So let's begin. There are 3 important news that we are going to talk about in this particular class. First up, the Supreme Court has said that the disposal of check bouncing cases need to be at a very high speed. Now, check bouncing cases, I'm sure that most of you are aware of it. Now, Section 138 of the Negotiable Instrument Act deals with check bouncing issues. The Supreme Court has today held that the disposal of a check bouncing case needs to be fast. News number two, The Kerala High Court says that night hours in work cannot be an excuse to not employ women. Now, the government should act equally. A government cannot act in a discriminatory manner. Now, here was a particular service where the government was not taking women employees on the ground that the work requires night working hours. The Kerala High Court has come down very heavily on this particular issue and has said the government that night hours in work cannot be an excuse for not employing women in a particular place. News number 3. A news coming from the Manipur High Court. The Manipur High Court has today quashed the membership of BJP leader Okram Henry Singh as a member of the State Legislative Assembly. Now, Mr. Okram Singh got elected in the State Assembly election. His election has been declared as null and void by the Manipur High Court. More about all these 3 news in the remaining part of today's class. Okay, so let's begin. The first important news of the day, check bounce. Now, what do you mean by check bounce case? Suppose you have issued a particular check and suppose the check is not honored. It amounts to dishonoring a particular check. Suppose I write a check of rupees 10,000 in Mr. A's favor. Suppose I write a check of rupees 10,000 in Mr. A's favor. And when Mr. A goes and deposits the check, the bank says that no, this check is not a proper check. That means, or might say that, the person who has given you this check does not have sufficient balance in his account, and that's why we are not honoring the check. So that is what is check bounce. Okay. Now, what happens in these cases is this, that over years, for 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, cases are pending in the courts in India. Check bounce cases. Check bounce cases are pending before the courts for 5 years, 7 years, 10 years. Today, the Supreme Court, in a landmark judgment, wherein the Supreme Court was dealing with expeditious trial of cases under Section 138 of the Negotiable Instrument Act, a bench which comprises of the Chief Justice of India, Justice Sarath Bobde, Justice Nageshwar Rao, Justice B.R. Gawai, Justice A.S. Bopanna, and Justice Ravinder Bhatt. A 5-judge bench of the Supreme Court has held that, number 1, that Justice R.C. Chauhan committee will devise steps. A committee which will consist of Justice R.C. Chauhan will devise steps for speedy disposal of check bounce cases in India. Secondly, the judgment also says that the power given to a magistrate, very, very important, the power given to magistrate to stop proceeding in cases will not apply to check bounce cases. That means the power generally given to a magistrate to stop proceeding in cases will not apply to check bounce cases. And thirdly, the Supreme Court says that a single trial against a person for multiple offences. Now, one after the other, I'm going to explain you. The first point, Justice R.C. Chauhan committee, note it down. So, a committee has been framed, has been made by the Supreme Court of India, which will take into account what are the steps required for a quick disposal of check bouncing cases. R.C. Chauhan Committee will devise steps for speedy disposal of check bouncing cases. That's point number one. Point number two, magistrates will not have the power to direct stopping the proceeding of check bounce cases. So no court will have the power to tell that a particular case, which is being a 138 case, section 138 case that relates to check bounce case, will not be pursued. Thirdly, if there are one single person, suppose I have issued check in favor of Mr. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, and suppose all the checks have bounced, all the checks stood dishonored, then there will be a single trial and not multiple trial. One trial for all offences committed within a period of 12 months. So this will reduce the number of cases in the courts that are pending. I hope you understood this particular important 5-judge bench judgment. Next up, the news coming from the Kerala High Court. The Kerala High Court says that night hours in work cannot be an excuse to not employ women. The government of India cannot discriminate a man and a woman on the basis of the fact that the work relates to night hours. Men are allowed to work, but women are not allowed to work because it's a night employment. The Kerala High Court has come down very, very heavily on the government. And let's look at what the Kerala High Court has said. It is the bounden duty of the respondents, who are governments and government functionaries, to take all appropriate steps to see that a woman is able to carry out the duties assigned to her at all hours, safely and conveniently. If that be so, there would be no reason for denying appointment to a qualified hand only on the ground that she is a woman, and because the nature of the employment would require her to work during night hours. As such, and such protective provisions cannot stand in the way of a woman being considered for employment for which she is otherwise eligible. So if a woman is eligible for a particular work, the state cannot deny a job to a woman on the ground that the work entails working in the night. Why can't women work in the night if men can? Now we have Article 14 of the Indian Constitution that talks about equality. The concept of equality simply is that both men and women should be treated equally. The state should not discriminate a person. The state should not discriminate a person on the basis of a person's caste, religion, gender, language he or she speaks. Okay, so there are many grounds on which a person should not be discriminated. Now here we see that the state is discriminating a person on the basis of his or her gender because the work that he or she will be doing is relating to night hours of work. सो रात के टाइम औरत काम नहीं कर सकता है और सिर्फ लड़के काम कर सकता है, ये एकदम ही गलत बात है. Have I made myself clear? That's what the Kerala High Court has categorically stated in this particular judgment. Okay? Am I clear to all of you? Have I made myself clear to each and every one of you out there? Okay? Okay, fantastic, fantastic. Any doubts? Any doubts? You are most welcome to ask me. Okay? Now, insofar as safety of a woman is concerned, okay, some questions are coming from the app. Now, insofar as the safety of a woman is concerned, it is the duty of the state to provide safe environment to the people, to both men and women who are working. Now, just because the state cannot provide a safe environment for women to work in the night hours, is it the fault of the woman? It is the fault of the state. I would suggest that this is a particular fault of the state and not of the woman. Am I clear? Have I made myself clear to all of you? अगर स्टेट प्रोवाइड नहीं कर पा रहा है एक सेफ एनवायरनमेंट फॉर वुमेन, वो किसका कसूर है? वो किसका गलती है? स्टेट का, क्या वो औरत का? स्टेट का गलती है. Am I clear? Okay, fantastic. Okay, great, great, great. Now the third important news coming from the Manipur High Court. The Manipur High Court has set aside the election of a BJP leader who was elected as a member of the state assembly. So, the Manipur High Court, the High Court today has set aside the election of a particular leader who was elected as a member of the state legislature. Now, why did it happen? Now, under the Representation of People's Act 1951, very, very important. Under the Representation of People's Act 1951, suppose a person wants to contest for election. He has to disclose his name, name of his spouse, wife or husband, his dependents, details of pending criminal cases, education qualification, and all. So, when you are filling the form to contest an election, you have to disclose your name, your education qualification, the name of your spouse, the name of your dependents, whether there are pending criminal cases against you, everything has to be declared. Now, here was a particular person, Mr. Okram Henry Singh. Mr. Okram Henry Singh, who was elected to the State Assembly of Manipur, did not mention about certain cases that were pending against him while he filed his application for contesting the State Assembly election. So, Mr. Okram, what did he do? He knew very well that there were certain pending cases against him, but he did not mention those details while he applied for becoming a member of the state legislature. He was very well aware of the proceedings about the pending cases, but he did not do it. So the Manipur High Court has today said that failure to disclose the name of the spouse, his dependents, details of pending criminal cases, education qualification constitutes corrupt practice under section 123 subclause 2 of the Representation of Peoples Act 1951. So if a person fails to disclose the cases that are pending against him, which he otherwise is aware of, while he is applying to become a member of the state legislature, this act amounts to, a corrupt practice. Okay, so when a person is aware that there is a pending cases before him, he should definitely tell it to the Election Commission under the Representation of Peoples Act 1951. Am I clear? Have I made myself clear to each and any one of you? NDPS means Narcotic, Drugs and Psychotropic Substance Prohibition Act. So there is a law relating to prohibition of using drugs and selling and buying drugs. Okay, yeah. Okay, all that the in this particular judgment, the Manipur High Court has very categorically held that when a person is applying to become a member of the state legislature, he has to declare those things which he is required to declare under the law. Now, suppose a person does not declare, if a person does not declare his pending criminal cases that are pending against him, or the name of his spouse, the name of his dependents, and education qualification, that would constitute corrupt practice under the Representation of Peoples Act, and for which today the Manipur High Court has set aside the election of BJP leader Okram Henry Singh and has declared it null and void. Okay, fantastic, great. So I hope you understood now. So friends, do like the session, do comment, do share and do subscribe to our YouTube channel. Congratulations to all of you. Our YouTube channel has hit 50,000 subscribers. So today we have 50,000 subscribers in our YouTube channel. So a great congratulations to each and every one of you out there for contributing for this immense success of Gradeup. Thank you. If you have any query or doubts, you can call us at our official WhatsApp number, which happens to be 93544 As well as if you have any course related query, you can call us at 965400 as well as 9319599244. With this, we come to the end of today's class. I hope you enjoyed it, you liked it. Thank you, God bless you, and stay home, stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you, bye bye, good night, and wish you a very happy and a safe weekend. Bye.